My name is Bomarut. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Here we are going to rewind 5 electric motors, 2.25 kilowatts. First thing we do as usual is to strip the coils. We remove the bad coils so that we can replace it. After proper stripping, the slots are cleaned and properly insulated. The first coil after the former is taken is to be tested by our boss to make sure that the former is of right size and suitable for this motor. The former has been confirmed, so now we can proceed into rewinding of the motors. The reason we use tape is to make sure that it's easier for separation. Using your mallet hammer, you make sure to dress the coil properly, making sure that it's sitting the way it should. One thing I like about this 2.25 electric motor is that the slots of the motor is big. Like, you can put enough coils and you have space. It's not tight. Not only is it not tight, the spacing for the rotor is also big enough for your hands to enter. So like, it's not a very difficult motor to rewind. A complete beginner can even start doing this. I promise you, it's not that hard. Now, after the coils have been placed into the slot successfully, we are now binding the back of the motor before connection. Separation is first done before the back of the coil is binded. This is the diagram of the electric motor, and we are going to get right into the explanation of the connection. First thing you should notice about this diagram is that this motor is a 2-pole motor. Let's look at the details of this motor. This motor is laid 1 to 10, 1 to 12, a 24 slot motor. It has a standard wire gauge of 21 because it is a 2 wires at hand is times 2, and a total lapse of 5.5 pounds weight. The tons of the motor is 45 tons and 46 tons. Let's focus now on the diagram. Since this motor is a 2-pole motor, it has a total of 6 coils. The outer part represents the starting of the coils, and the inside, like the one in the circle, represents the finish of the coils. Think of it like an arrow. The head and the tail. The tail represents the start and the head represents the finish. Hope you now understand the numbering of the coils and the start and the finish of each of the coils. Now let's look at the phases. The phases are differentiated with different biros: the U phase, the V phase, and the W phase. I can simply say that this coil is connected finish, and the starts are used as terminal. This is a 2-pole motor, so each phase has 2 coils which are connected finish, and the starts as terminal. Now that the back has been successfully binded and separated, it's time for connection. The connection has been completed, and now we are soldering the joint to make sure that it doesn't corrode and it will last for a very much longer time. We use a paper tape and we use 2 mm or 3 mm sleeve to sleeve. Once the connection has been completed and we have checked the resistance that is completely balanced, then we can now proceed into binding and separating of the back of the front coils. This is the final step of the motor, and it means that your motor is almost completed. At this point, after successfully binding it, you just have to couple the motor and then test it. A lot of work goes into binding of an electric motor coil, because one thing is for sure, that you have to make sure that the coil doesn't hit. You are moving and shifting and arranging and making sure that everything is arranged perfectly and correctly. Before we vanish, we trough the coil. Troughing is hitting down the wedge of the coil to make sure that they don't create a bomb in the slots, so that the rotor will have space and rotate freely. If not, it will grind the wedge and making the coil to hit. Now, first thing first we do before we varnish our coil is that we heat it. We are using a local method, but we use a varnish of high quality to varnish our coils. If there's lights, we use an halogen bulb, which you can see in this video that we are heating up all 5 motors after we have successfully varnished them. After varnishing, the next step will be coupling of the motors, and the motors have been successfully coupled and now they are ready for testing. That is the next step we're going to do. Now make sure to hit that like and subscribe button because you can continue to watch quality content from my channel. During the testing of the motor, we make sure to check the amperage, which is very important to us. Lastly, we paint the motors using a spray gun. Like I said, subscribe.